Hello, this is Marky2200 and welcome back to my Need for Speed testing series. We are at the final bit of stretch of Need for Speed Undercover, as we are going to rank every single tier 1 car from worst to best based on all of their attributes. That is lap time, acceleration and top speed. Just like the previous championship videos, we've ranked all of the cars from worst to best on the lap time, acceleration, top speed, and on every single one of those tests they've gained a result, and based on that result they've gained a certain amount of points. Obviously, if the result is better, they get more points. And that's how we're gonna determine which of the tier 1 is the best of the best. Just like always, the cars are just upgraded with their maximum available performance parts, so they haven't been tuned, they haven't been customized whatsoever. I will briefly explain the infographics once we're there, but first we have to see which of the tier 1 cars is overall the worst of the worst, and that unfortunately at number 10 we have the Lamborghini Murcielago. So let me briefly explain what you're looking at. As you can see, the car, the Murcielago, finished 10th overall. It did a lap time of 56.66, which was 9th of the tier 1 cars. It went from 0 to 200 and back to 0 in 7.11 seconds, which was 10th overall, so the worst of the tier 1 cars. And it has a top speed of 381 km an hour, which is 7th of the tier 1 cars. That it got 9th means that it gained 2 points, that it got 10th in the acceleration test means it got 0 points, and that it got 7th in the top speed test means it got 3 points, and that added is 5 points, which, to be honest, is not a great start for the Murcielago. Pretty poor acceleration, pretty poor handling wise, and it has a decent top speed, I guess, but decency only gets you so far. So, now you know how this championship works. Let's get over to number 9, which is the Nissan GTR R35. So the GTR got 10th overall in the lap time tests. You would think, being in GTR, it would be much higher, but it is what it is. It was somewhat decent in acceleration test, and it was average in the top speed test. It got 1 point for the lap time test, 2 points for the acceleration test, and 7 points for the top speed test, bringing it at a total of 10 points. Coming in at number 8 we have the Porsche Carrera GT, which is quite unfortunate that this car is so on the list, but it only got 8th in the lap time test, 9th at the acceleration test, and 6th in the top speed test. It does sound very good, but again, that's just a gimmick, and gimmicks only get you so far. It's quite decent at top speed, but again, you'd far rather have that had a better lap time or acceleration, but it is what it is. Coming in at number 7 we have the Ford GT, and I would have liked this car to be a bit better, because it was pretty good at the lap time test, being 5th, 51.93, and again, as usual, the lap time test gets double the resultant points when it comes to the other two tests. It was very good, well, it was good at the lap time test, but it was lacking at the other two tests, which only gets you so far. I mean, it was the worst in top speed test, so what can you expect? Coming at number 6 we have the McLaren F1, and I am very disappointed that this car was as bad as it is. I mean, it was decent at every test. It was okay at the lap time test, okay at the acceleration test, and it was somewhat respectable at the top speed test. It had a top speed of 392 km an hour, which is 4th of every tier 1 car. I mean, if you are somewhat skilled, yes, you can use this car, but there are far better options in the tier 1 category. Number 5 we have the Pagani Zonda F, which in my opinion is the best sounding car. It was pretty good overall. It was good at the lap time test, 6 overall. Good, I mean, yeah, it was decent. It was good at the top speed test, a 3rd place, 396 km an hour. It got 29 points in total. I mean, overall, this is where I'm gonna say these cars are pretty good. And you can certainly do well with the Pagani Zonda. Coming in at number 4 we have the Audi R8, which is quite good. We had a 4th in a lap time test. It was 2nd in the acceleration test, and it was unfortunately quite lackluster in the top speed test. It is very good on a circuit, but when there's any long straight in the track, this car will suffer. Overall, quite a good car. It's quite fun to use, you know, it has 4-wheel drive, so it accelerates very good, as you can see, but top speed, lacking. Coming at number 3, we have the Corvette CO6, and like I said in the previous video, this car simply could not retain its third place after its quite poor top speed. I mean, 375 kilometers an hour only was good enough for 9th place, and that got 1 point extra. It was very good at the lap time test, it was good at the acceleration test, but with that quite poor top speed, it only got 40 points in total. Coming at number 2, we have the Bugatti Veyron, which is the best vanilla car. If you don't have any DLC whatsoever, this is the best tier 1 car. It got a triple podium, it got 3rd in the lap time test, 3rd in the acceleration test, and it has the highest top speed of 404 kilometers an hour, which is not a big surprise given that it is the Bugatti Veyron, only known to have the highest top speed in its time, and that does translate very well into Need for Speed Undercover. Lap time, it was amazing. Acceleration, it's the fastest from 0 to 200, and then back to 0 again is the 3rd best. Overall total of 56 points. However, at number 1, it really wasn't a surprise anymore. The Koenigsegg CCX is simply the best car in Need for Speed Undercover. It got 1st in the lap time test, 1st in acceleration test, and just 2nd in the top speed test. If its top speed was just 5 kilometers an hour better, then it would have been 1st at every single category. The only downside of this car is that it is a DLC car after all. I'm not sure how it is on console, I'm not sure if you still have to pay to get this car. However, if you are on PC, you can actually download a collector's edition unlocker and just get this car, because this car is just extremely amazing. And like I said in the previous video, it actually gained its overall best car status after the 2nd test. So the Corvette CO6 only gained 9 points in the acceleration test, and that means it was 21 points behind after the 2nd test. And given that there are only 20 points available in the top speed test, yeah, I mean, this car is so good. Just, if you haven't tried out this car, it's the best of the best. Its handling is extremely amazing, and I have nothing more to say. It is simply the best tier 1 car in Need for Speed Undercover. And you know what that means. We've done the championship video of tier 1. There are just 2 more videos left. One video is where we rank every single car from every single tiers in Need for Speed Undercover from worst to best. But before we're gonna do that, I have a little surprise for you. Because given it was heavily requested, like seriously heavily requested, we are gonna do every single special car from worst to best in Need for Speed Undercover. That is something to look forward to. We're gonna do that after this video, and after the special cars we are gonna do the last video of Need for Speed Undercover, and that will be every single car in Need for Speed Undercover from worst to best. So those are the 2 videos to look forward to. Yeah, that was it for this video. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you all for watching. This has been Marky2200, and I hope to see you the next time.